Hi, my name is Alan Haug, and I'm here with my grandparents, Janet and Gordy, at their home, as well as my mother, Barb. We're going to talk about two different hydraulic lifts. This is a traditional hydraulic lift you find in a lot of nursing homes, and a lot of people have them in their homes for getting people around. And this is the new spot lift. This stands for self-propelled operating transport that my dad and uncle came up with some better features. First we'll talk a little bit about this. It was about 4 years ago that my grandpa started having a little more difficulty getting around, and they brought this in to try to help out. They also had a nurse stop by, and I'll let my grandma talk about it a little bit. When the nurse came and they tried to use it, she had a little bit of difficulty. How did that go?
It was a little bit too hard for her to push it on a carpet, and she said that there was no way that she could use that again.
Yeah, if you try, even grandma tries to push it with nobody in it, it's pretty difficult. It's really cumbersome and hard to push on a surface like carpet. And a lot of homes obviously have a lot of carpet, and it makes it very difficult to use this instrument in a home. One of the other issues that they had trouble with was just the fact that it was cumbersome, and then also, I'll try to demonstrate a little bit here, taking it over to this scooter chair. I'll have my mom sit down. This is the sling that they have to use with this lift. So one issue with that is it has to already be underneath the person in order to really be useful at all. Otherwise, you have to try to scoot it underneath them somehow while they're sitting in the chair, and it makes it very difficult. Also, with this long wheelbase, you have to widen it in order to get it around chairs such as this. To even get close enough to pick them up. And then say you have a bed, it has to be able to slide underneath the bed in order to pick somebody up out of the bed and transport them. So if you have anything underneath, there's no way you can even use this. Or if it has a bed frame that you can't slide underneath, it has to have at least 5 inches for this lift itself. It makes it very difficult to use. We'll try to demonstrate here with my mother how you have to use this. As you can see, it's all manual, everything's pumped, and it takes a lot of effort to do. So we'll hook her up. It's already in place. Try to save a little time. Now she's hooked up. I have to pump her up out of the chair. Try not to get hooked on something. Completely lift her out. Okay, so now once I get her out, this is where it gets challenging. I'm a pretty big guy, and I have trouble with this on this surface, pulling her out. It's not easy. So imagine my grandmother, who's 80 years old, trying to do that, pushing my grandpa around, trying to get him to the bathroom, for instance. So we'll talk about that scenario. One of the other things that came into difficulty with was, if he's in this sling, there's no way to pull his pants down or do anything like that once you get to the bathroom. So you basically have to lift him up, set him down in something like a wheelchair if you don't want to have to push him the whole way over there. And then then you push him in the wheelchair, get over there, and then you have to get the lift out again, lift him up again, and somehow get his pants down with that sling on. It's very difficult. So there's a lot of the issues that they ran into as I try to put my mom back with this lift. Put her down. So just to recap, I guess, go over what we just talked about. Some of the biggest issues were it being so hard to push, and then once you did push it, it's really hard to steer because it's such a kind of an awkward length, hard to get around corners, things like that. The sling itself is very difficult for going to a place like the bathroom, just because of being hard to access, taking the pants down, things like that. A lot of times you have to put them in another chair, and it just becomes quite a process, and it's all manual, like I said before. A lot of pushing, a lot of work for the caregiver. And so get this out of the way. what my dad and uncle came up with was what I already referred to, the spot lift. And the first thing was that they had trouble with that lift was it was hard to move. Well, with this one, it's all self-propelled. The other thing was cumbersome, it's really hard to push, and around corners and maneuver. This one, it's got a 0-degree turn radius. So you can easily get around any corner. And now I'll let my mom and my grandma just kind of demonstrate how they normally handle my grandpa when they take him to a place such as the bathroom or put him in a wheelchair, and just let them go through how they do that, how much easier it is. So go ahead, Grandma, if you want to drive it over there.
Where do you want me to go?
Go ahead and drive over to Grandpa. So with this lift, obviously it's a lot easier to push around, just easily maneuver it. Drive it right up to the edge of the chair, and put his feet right on that platform there. And with this, they tried a different sling where basically you pick him up just like you would pick up a baby. It goes right underneath his arms. And they developed, since he's lost a little bit of his strength in his upper body, before they could just hook him in there and he could kind of hold it down on his own, but now he's lost strength. So they developed this, what's called a crisscross harness, so it kind of hugs him and it doesn't let it slip up and down very easily. Okay. We got this pad right here for his legs, as you might see in some other lifts out there. Press up against that so he can basically be held up just like that. And then Grandma can drive him all the way to the bathroom. You don't have to get a wheelchair involved or anything. Just go straight to the bathroom, set him down on the toilet. You can pull the pants down and do everything without having to do anything else. And she doesn't have to do anything really physically exerting. It's something she can do all herself. And it's helped her out a lot. She's been able to basically take care of my grandpa by herself for the last 4 years. Pull him right up to the chair and you can just set him down. And there you have it. That's just an example of how they can use it. It's very good for, like I mentioned before, they have a lot of trouble taking this lift into the bathroom, getting around sharp corners. They have very narrow hallways in this house. Getting into the doorways are very narrow here. No way they could do it with that one, but this one they have no trouble with it at all. And like I said, you can take it right up to the bed in the bedroom. They don't have to worry about sliding these legs underneath. They can drive right up to the edge, set him up, and just hook underneath his arms, lift him up, and away you go. So we just wanted to point out the big differences between what a traditional lift can do and what the spot lift can do, and how it can be a really effective tool both in the home or even in a nursing home or a hospital as well. With this lift, it doesn't have to be driven everywhere either. It has a hand truck, works the same way as when you move boxes. It hooks underneath and you can pull it and push it very easily on a smooth surface like this manually and not have to waste any of the battery. It can be moved quickly from room to room. So it's worked very well for Grandma, I believe. You said you use it about how many times a day?
8 to 10.
8, 10 times a day. So imagine her trying to do that with this lift, how much that would take out of her being the caregiver, and how much less work she has to do with this one. Thanks for watching our short video, and hope that you visit our website, www.spotlifts.com, and check us out and contact us if you have any questions. Thanks.